Come on, y'all. All right, welcome to another episode of At the Bucket. This is Matt Wenske. How's it going, Matt?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. So, finally got your own solo episode. I know we did one with Gage, which was pretty good, pretty fun right before trials.
hmm
How's it been going since trials? What you been doing?
It's been good. Retired like right after trials was finished. I got all moved into a new place. I'm in
Mhm.
Stillwater, Oklahoma, which is not that exciting, but I'm here just for a master's program and mental
Yeah,
health counseling, and then
nice.
just starting grad school. So
Oh, that's good. So from University of Oklahoma to Oklahoma State,
yeah,
how have you started school yet?
yeah. This just finished up the first week. My last class of the week was
Ah,
yesterday. So
nice. How is that with COVID and everything? Is it like mixed? Is it all virtual?
it's actually all in person right now, and then it's
Oh,
just they
nice.
want to wear masks and stuff in class.
Mhm.
But it was nice to actually get back in a classroom for like the first time in like a year and a half because everything
Yeah,
has been virtual.
yeah,
So it's like good to get to see like some new faces and actually meet all my
mhm,
professors one on one. So
yeah, that's
that's
good.
good.
Yeah, I have a lot of people like, just starting college. Like my cousin just started college. She hasn't, been in person the whole time. And
hmm
like some of my kids that I coach, just starting high school. They're
Yeah,
just going in person for the first time, even though they did ninth grade freshman year, it all
yeah.
virtual.
It's crazy, and but
Yeah.
yeah, it is kind of it's like refreshing, honestly, to just like be like in that setting again. And
Mm-hmm.
I learn a lot better like in person than I did
Right.
online. Anyways, so that helps.
Right. Nice. Yeah, how is that or how was that, last year, your senior year, being with COVID and all? Yeah, how was that?
Yeah, it was interesting. You just had to kind of be a little more responsible for your schedule because things kind of were more open ended, like with when assignments could get turned in or when you had
Mhm.
to watch the lectures. Because I know a lot of my teachers would just like record a lecture and post it, and you just had to watch it at some point that week. So it was more of just figuring out what schedule worked for you rather than like having these set times.
Mhm.
Which was honestly kind of nice, just because if you wanted to sleep in a little that morning, you could watch it in the afternoon or whatever. But
Mhm.
um, typically, though, I do better with like an organized schedule, so I'm like happy that we're like back on like
Mhm.
time set stuff. So, but yeah, it was good. It's just a weird year. It was just strange,
Yeah.
and then working out with COVID and stuff sucked because we had to wear masks all the time in
Mm.
practice and everything. And so when you're breathing
Yeah.
hard and you have to put your mask back on, you're like,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah,
Was
so that
it
wasn't good.
Yeah, it was just like between turns, right? You didn't have to
Yeah,
have masks on the event. You just had to put it back on after your
yeah,
turn and everything.
yeah, because it was like a safety hazard if you like
Right.
had it while you're doing like P bars or something.
Yeah, yeah. Especially like floor.
Yeah,
Imagine doing a floor set with the mask
it
on.
just goes
I
up to
could
your eye.
not imagine that.
Yeah, it'd be bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we're doing the same thing in the with me coaching. Just you can
Cool.
take it off during your turn, but gotta put it back on during um you know after your turn and everything. So
Yeah, that's
but
how it was.
mhm. But let's take it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not a little bit, but a lot. Let's
Okay.
just go through go through chronologically through your gymnastics career, where you started, where you from, and what gym did you go to?
Cool. Yeah, so I'm from Houston originally, and I went to Cypress Academy. That was the gym I went to literally my whole life growing
Yeah.
up before college. I think I started gym when I was like 3 years old, and
Mhm.
just so happened that Cypress was like a 15-minute drive from my house growing up. So I got really lucky there because they're a
Yeah.
great junior program.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, just I don't know. When I was like a little kid, in those like little rec classes and stuff, I think coaches just kind of saw I had a knack for the sport, and so I got like promoted or bumped up a little quicker,
Mhm.
which was nice. But yeah, I went through Cypress my whole junior career. Remember going to like JO's the first time when I was like 11,
Mhm.
and I remember thinking it was so cool to be there, but then I was so bummed because I got like 60th place or something like that my first time.
Right.
Uh, but I remember like that was like the first time in my life I had like some motivation, like I wasn't just doing sport for fun. And that was like
Right.
when it started kicking in for me, like, oh, okay, like let's get better. I want to be top 10 or I want to
Right.
win JOs one day. And
Mhm.
so that kind of started that path for me. So I'm honestly really thankful I got 60th place that one time.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, failure can really motivate and really help you learn like this is
mhm,
what I need to do. So,
yeah.
um,
Um, and then after that next year, it was kind of bittersweet. I ended up getting like, I'll never forget this. I got like 15th at JOs the next year. So it was like a big jump, but
yeah,
I missed
huge jump.
the team by one spot, because it was like a 14-man team. And so I was 15th. So I was like,
Uh,
you had it.
right.
And that was like another like fed the motivation thing. And then the next year I finally made it for the first time. And I was like, what,
Nice.
13, 14 years old. And then was able to like retain that national team spot pretty much throughout my junior career, which was awesome.
Mhm.
Um, and then I think I won JOs for the first time when I was like 16 or 17.
Nice.
I think I was 17. Yeah, when I won the first time, and then I think I won again when I was in like the 18-year-old division.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm like really thankful for that because that kind of set me up to get scholarships and everything and go through the whole recruiting process.
Mhm.
Remember that was super stressful getting recruited and everything. I
Yeah.
had no clue what I wanted to do at first.
Right.
Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, I ended up picking OU, as you all
Mhm.
know. So
Represent.
yeah, Boomer Sooner, dude. But yeah, it was OU was this interesting like time in my life. It was one of the hardest 4 or 5 years I think of my life, but it was
A
also like
hard
some.
adjustment period for sure,
Yeah,
and everybody goes through it.
yeah. No, it was definitely like a rude awakening, like freshman
Mhm.
year, like going there and getting used to 6 a.m.s and
Mhm.
having like team members like really getting on you when you're like not doing what you're supposed to and everything. Because when you're like a junior, no one cares that much.
Mhm.
It's just individual based. So to get to that like senior level and be having like a tough day and no
Mhm.
one's giving you like sympathy, they're just like, hey
Right.
man, like you got to pick it up, get going.
Mhm.
That took a little bit to get used to, but I'm like way better now for it. So
Mhm.
um, very, very thankful for that program. Yeah, I guess we can just kind of go through the years at OU.
Right. Yeah, but before we do that, I wanted to ask, you kind of touched on it a little bit, like having no idea what you wanted to do and where you wanted to go. What really stuck out to you for OU?
Yeah. So I remember after I finished all the recruiting and stuff, my top two choices were Michigan and OU. And I literally felt like I was like 50-50 with
Mhm.
those decisions. Because I thought at the time I wanted to do like pre-med stuff.
Mhm.
And I knew Michigan had a really good program and OU had a decent one. But then I also knew OU's gymnastics, just their history that they've had there and like all the like amazing gymnasts they've put out. I knew that if I wanted to succeed in gymnastics, that was probably the smarter place to go. And
Mhm.
so I did a bunch of research and I found out with pre-med, your undergrad really doesn't matter that much. It's more of like your just what your GPA is and how well you do on like the MCAT and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And so that kind of made the decision easier because then I could just base it off of gym rather than
Mhm.
academic standpoint. And I clicked very well with both teams. And so at that point, I just made the decision easy for me at that point once I narrowed it down to just gym reasons.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, OU just seemed like the place to go and the place to be. So that's where we ended up.
Nice. Yeah, especially with you guys, being from Cyprus, OU definitely has that, in with
Mhm.
Cyprus guys for sure. How was that, going to college with the guys that you grew up with as well?
That was definitely a pull as well. That was something I remember trying to battle a little bit too. I wanted to
Mhm.
figure out, okay, did I want to stick with like my same good friends I've had or
Mhm.
like go start my own chapter, and go meet,
Right.
and make a new brotherhood kind of thing. And
Mhm.
once I narrowed it down to like the gym aspect, I didn't really even take that into consideration. I just was like, go here
Mhm.
because, it will set you up the best for your future in this sport.
Mhm.
Um, And so that's what I did. But it was really cool coming to OU and having that like brotherhood with like half the guys already on the team.
Mhm.
And because a lot of those guys, they were like older brothers to me growing up. And so it was kind of just, it felt like a family, like as soon as I got there. And then it was just a matter of getting to know the other guys I hadn't met yet.
Yeah.
And then those guys turned into family too. So it was a really cool thing. And I feel like at OU going through that program, the only way you get through it is by bonding with like your teammates, because they're the ones that help you get through it more than just depending on yourself. So
right.
I'm really thankful for that program and for all those guys. So it is a cool and fun long ride.
Definitely. We can go through a little bit. Your what year did you go into your freshman year?
It was summer of 2016.
Okay. 2016. Okay. Yeah. So 2016 you came in. What was like the biggest shock? You definitely said the adjustment period was hard. But what was your biggest shock, and what was something you learned your freshman year of college?
So I think honestly one of the biggest shocks was how hard physically it was. Like I always knew gym was hard. Like I struggled with it as a junior. It's tough, but I don't think I ever did. We did strength and conditioning in high school, but it wasn't to the extent that they do it at OU. And spending like an hour in the morning at 6 a.m., running and lifting heavy weights, and then you're unbelievably sore. Now go work out 4 hours in the afternoon. So that was like the hardest thing to get used to. I remember my very first weight workout I did. I threw up like right at the end of it. I remember I was so happy I at least made it through the whole thing. But then right when we finished, I like bolted off. That
happens sometimes.
That was definitely a shock. And then I think just kind of learning how to deal with that mentally, because once you like get strong mentally, it really doesn't matter if you're sore, tired, or whatever. You just go put out the same results every time.
Yeah.
And that was one of the biggest mottos of OU. Is like, what if you get to a meet and you're feeling kind of sick? Your team still depends on you. Or what if you're kind of tired? Like you still got to put the results out there and get the job done. And so once that started clicking and I started like fixing the mental side of things a little bit, then it was, we were on like a better path and things started going a little better. So
yeah, that's what stuck out to me too. Was like going there, they really emphasized, you got to be able to do this set no matter what, no matter what time, no matter how you're feeling, you got to be able to do this set in your sleep, wake up immediately, be able to do the set. And like, it's pretty crazy. And like, I remember sometimes, it wasn't just weights, morning practice. Sometimes you wake up and they're like, all right, cold horse set.
Yep.
It's just like, oh crap.
Yeah.
And it's just like wake up at 6 a.m. and you have to do a horse set. It's just like, it's kind of like a rude awakening where it's just like, yep, this is what you have to do, and you have to be prepared for it, because
and then they get on to you, you mess up when it's
right. It's just like, this is 6 a.m. man. Like it's hard, but it definitely gets you ready, and like being able to do that is like such a huge advantage over a lot of the competition. Being able to have that confidence, be like, man, I did this, I did this early in the morning, I did this late at night, I did this sore, I did this tired, I can do this fresh and out of competition. Like, it's just that confidence you come in and do that. So your freshman year is when it was our last year that OU won. Is that right?
Sophomore year, I won. I was part of two of them.
Sophomore year. Okay, you got two. Nice.
Yeah. It was on the winning and sophomore. So.
Yeah. All right. Sweet. So going in your freshman year, how was that first championship run? How did that feel? What was that like?
It was cool. I think it's like one of those things I'll never forget it. It's that first time like walking into that like huge arena. It's just, we were at West Point that year. But yeah, it was just a massive arena, and like it's 5 up, 5 count. So you're like, okay, I gotta be locked in, like be ready to go. It's definitely like very stressful, but like you had just said, that's why you did all that work leading up to it. So by the time you get there, you can just kind of hone back in and almost go on autopilot, and just do what you do every day in practice. It was cool, man. We ended up, I think we won by like 8 points or something like that.
Mhm.
Like I remember it was,
That was
I
when
remember
the
we
team
were
was
halfway through
stacked.
the meet. Yeah, I think that was like the best OU team we ever had was that
Right.
one. It
Cool.
was cool. But that was back when like Alan was on the team and
Okay.
Dank and Yule and
Mhm.
Colin and all them. Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that was a good team. Very
yeah,
good team.
it's pretty cool.
Mhm.
But no, I remember we started on the floor, and by halfway through the meet, we had just finished rings. I remember we all kind of looked at each other. And we're like, we just won, and we were halfway through it. And it was because I remember, never forget this, on rings. Every single guy, all 5 guys, hit and stuck.
Mhm.
And I remember all 5 of those guys all Americaned on rings. Out of the top 8 guys in the
Right.
country, 5 of them were like on our
Yeah,
team. And
that's
yeah, halfway through the meet, we already had like a 5-point lead or something. And we were like, we got this, guys. Like, just you go on cruise control at this point. Just hit
yeah.
your set and move on. And that's what we
How was
did. And
yeah.
yeah.
How was that halfway through being able to have that cushion and being able kinda like was it nice to know that you can, like, kind of enjoy this moment?
Yeah. It definitely, like, it took some nerves away. You're just kind of like, I don't want to say you have the mindset of like, oh, it doesn't even like matter what I do, but that's like almost how it felt. You're just like,
Mhm.
just go do the job, go ahead. If there's like a couple bobbles and stuff, it's not going to be the end of the world. Just go
Mhm.
hit your set and move on and be ready to go. And I mean, God, we still like did great routines.
Mhm. It
It
can
wasn't
help too
necessarily
when you have that lead.
fully on autopilot, but
Yeah.
it did help having that mindset like mentally where you could just kind of relax and just go show off rather than like, oh man, I have to hit right now.
Right.
So
Right.
that helped a bunch.
Mhm. So going into your sophomore year, when your second time going around, how was that different and how like coming in, you won last year. How is it different coming, trying to get that back to back, um, you know, back to back national championship? How did that feel? Was there more pressure, less pressure? How did you feel going into it?
Yeah, so that year for me personally, I didn't. That was completely different because I didn't get to compete that second year. That was when I
Mm,
had the lat tear,
mhm,
and that happened what like halfway through the season or something.
mhm,
But I do know like where the team was at, like mentally and everything. And I think that year when like the team won, it was honestly like more special to everybody because I think what do we have? I think out of like the 18 guys on our team, I think 13 had surgery.
mm,
And I was like the only one that wasn't able to return because it was like the biggest one. I was out for
mhm,
like 8 months or something. But yeah, the other 12 guys were like able to come back and it was just huge. Like when they won, it was like, holy crap, like we just
mhm.
did that after we were all like broken, at the beginning of the season. And
Yeah,
so I remember that year, like we didn't know if we would be able to be in the same spot. Like we had just lost a couple of great seniors. We had lost like Colin and Alan and Josh Tao,
mhm,
all those guys. And so, yeah, it was definitely, it was more intense feeling going into that meet. It wasn't the same mindset of like we knew we were going to win right when we walked in. This was more like, all right, we got to be on our game to win.
mhm,
But the guys were, man, they tore it up, and I remember being honestly a little more excited. I think when the team won that time, and I wasn't even competing that time.
mhm,
But I was still in the gym every day. I was
mhm.
showing up to 6 a.m.s and tried to just have like a coach type of role that year, and
Mhm.
just did what I could. And remember just
Right.
working on like leg strength and
Mhm.
flexibility and stuff like that because I couldn't use my arm.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that was a cool year. That was a
Yeah.
really cool year, and it was really really awesome seeing the guys do that, and
Yeah.
still had like an undefeated season and everything. So that was awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear, like, on a more personal level for you, like, even though you're not gonna even though you weren't competing, you still felt, you had your role to play and you had,
Yeah,
you still put in the work, in your own
yeah.
way. How was it on the sidelines, watching these guys do what they do? How did that feel and how was that experience?
It was. I remember it was really hard. I remember being like very excited for the guys, but very
Mhm,
sad for myself.
mhm,
Um, just because. you always want to be a part of it, and like you grow up dreaming of like competing for a university and stuff. You want to be there for those big moments. And it was really cool. I remember like halfway through the meet, I remember we were down a little bit. Like we were behind, I can't remember. I want to say it was either Stanford or Michigan, I think at the time, but they were ahead by like a few tenths. And we were going into like vault, but we like knew we needed to pick it up. And I just remember watching like the guys, they all like nailed their vaults, like 110 top or stuck type of thing. And it was just like, oh crap, like they came to play today, and I remember that was when I started getting super excited. But yeah, at the same time, I remember wanting to be there, like so bad, and like be out on the floor with them. And it was definitely just very weird being in the stands. I remember just sitting with like parents and stuff and people's family members and everything, and just trying to do the best I could being like a cheerleader and stuff. But it was like definitely a bittersweet moment for me personally.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard time when you have an injury. There's nothing you can do, but at the same time, yeah, it's awesome to see the guys go and do what they do and compete their best and come up with the win.
I remember just like I had like a ton of pride afterwards because I was still very much a part of that team, and so it did feel like I won also. I wish I could have done my part. That was the bittersweet part of it.
Yeah, I definitely feel that because I remember my sophomore year, I had I strained my UCL, my elbow, and I couldn't compete. And I did high bar day one, and I didn't make lineup on finals because I was doing basic sets. And this is in Sacramento for the NAIGC nationals.
Gotcha.
And I just remember on day on the finals day, just being the guy that's recording the routines, cheering the guys on and doing that, and just remembering like, oh, I wish I could compete right now, but I know I need to bring the energy, do the things that I need to do, and be able to have these guys' backs. And I had that same feeling where it's just like so much pride in these guys for being able to compete and do that, a great competition, and it was awesome to see. And it's a different feeling being being injured but still being there for your team.
It's very different, but it was honestly like a very cool experience, and it was still like a rewarding thing, just to kind of take a step back and like see what everybody else sees and watch that and like be like truly proud of all those guys. It was cool.
Yeah.
Just bittersweet.
Yeah. Good experience, I think. I think it's kind of humbling too, just being able to be like, okay, I'm human, I'm gonna have times where I can't do the things that I want to do. And being able to take a step back and be like, okay, I can still enjoy this moment is something that's super important in life, I think. Being able to let go of what you can't control. So we're going to that next 2 years, your junior year and senior year. So you first tore your lat, right? And then you had back issues?
So no, in high school I had back issues, and those bugged me like a little bit freshman year. Tore my meniscus in my knee freshman year. That was in like February, so like middle of the season, but I was able to like come back and compete towards the end of the year, which was good. Sophomore year, I tore the lat, which that was like an 8-month recovery, and that happened in like February or March, something like that. Junior year, I remember I partially tore my Achilles, but was able to like finish season out and everything. And then went to US championships though, and landed like barely short on vault. And that was when I like blew my whole ankle out. Like I remember the doctor, whenever I like saw him after, he like told me, he was like, yeah, you did everything you could have done to this thing except break it.
Oh my goodness.
And so I think I tore like every single ligament that was in my foot and every tendon. So that was like a big little reconstructive surgery they had to do. And And then that was like another 6 to 8 month kind of recovery, just coming back from that. And that was like the most brutal one, I think, because I kind of had to learn how to walk again. So um, that's why like I take a lot of pride now, like knowing like I came back from that and like I still ended up getting to go to like Olympic trials and make national team stuff. Like
that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm proud of myself for that. But that was definitely the roughest
Right.
one,
And
I think.
this was your junior year?
Yeah, that was like into junior year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to like come back and be good to go for senior year starting up. But
yeah, so going through your senior year, you know, your final run,
COVID. I never it never ended for me. Every year there was some
oh man.
year though.
Yeah. But on the bright side, you did end healthy, which is a positive.
Yeah. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
my actual senior year, that was when season like got canceled like halfway through. That was that year.
Right.
And so then I stuck around to do a 5th year.
Right.
So I could at least have like I just wanted to have that one healthy year finally and go like compete every meet. And so I finally got to do that. That was fun. And that year I was a captain and everything. And so that was awesome being in that role.
Yeah. How's being, you know, a bona fide leader and, you know, being elected captain? How did that feel?
It was cool. You take a lot of pride when you get that position on the team because it's huge. And like I had some big shoes to fill is what it felt like. You know, guys I had like looked up to my whole life growing up were those captains on that team. You know, like freshman year it was Josh Yee and Alan Bauer, Colin Van Wickla, and next year was like Hunter, and then you had like Levi and Genki and Yule, and so it was really cool. By the time I got to that role, I tried like paying attention to how all the captains ran the team whenever they were in that position, and I tried to. Me and Gage just had talked about this, trying to combine all of that, like take the good from all of them and try to eliminate the bad from all of them and put our little twist on it. And so, yeah, I think the gym was like, we definitely kept it a lot more positive this past year, you know, and kind of just looked at being in the gym as a privilege because the year before COVID had happened and we weren't able to. And so, yeah, we just tried to keep it more positive in the gym and help everybody out. And a big thing I was trying to work on with everybody was just working on their mental game. I was definitely more the captain, not necessarily to like yell at people, but I would go talk to them like individually, you know, when they're like screwing up. I never saw the need to like embarrass someone in front of the team. I would just go talk to them one-on-one, be like, yo, what's the issue? And if they're not listening, obviously that's when you got to get on to them, but that didn't happen very often. So, but no, it was a really cool experience, and we definitely had a big underdog team this past year. I think we were like ranked 4th going into season. And so, you know, obviously we didn't win national championships, but we still were 2nd right behind Stanford. And they kind of remind me of like the old OU teams, how like they just have a ton of talent on their team. And if they just work kind of hard, they're probably going to win, you know? So we were like
when, you know, teams have talent. It's
And so, yeah, we were definitely like that underdog team this year. And so we just kind of stuck with the good old OU motto and just outwork everybody and let the results speak for themselves at the end of the year. And so we ended up not getting 4th. You know, we got 2nd. And that was weird because it felt like not the same as a win, but it felt really good. That was the first time it felt good to be 2nd place in my life. And oh, yeah, that was interesting. I had never gotten 2nd before and been like, oh, I'm proud of it. You know, like that was kind of cool though.
Yeah, I think you had that right mindset too with it, especially with having COVID being canceled that last year. Because it really helped me realize, you know, we're taking a lot of things for granted. Like these things can be taken away and they can, you know, go away and never have it back. So I think that's a really good way of looking at it throughout the years, just being thankful that you can practice, thankful that you can compete, because that is not guaranteed.
No.
And it's an awesome thing to be able to compete and be able to enjoy that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but going a little bit back, talking about your, leadership style, I really and liked hearing that because I know you're that type of person to be able to just talk to people and be able to, have reason without going over the line and being like,
Yeah.
being hard on people, but also, establishing that what we need to do. And
Hmm.
I think it's super important, when you try and, you know, when you said try and take the good with all the captains, try not, but also try not to, be somebody else.
Hmm. Exactly.
And like you definitely have to have your own leadership style, and you have to be genuine because if you're not, then they'll see through it right
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
So that's an amazing take on how to be a leader and what to do with that. So kudos to you, and I'm sure you definitely took that under your belt and was able to do that nicely, and
Yeah, thanks.
results show for it, and super awesome to see you grow with that because I've seen you, from freshman to senior year,
Mhm.
and it's been great to see that growth.
Yeah,
So
you've seen like the whole college journey, man.
yeah, it's great. It's great, to see you from afar. Me being, not at Oklahoma anymore, but
Mm.
seeing you from afar and like you really thriving and getting back to that, healthy gymnastics that you can do and amazing gymnastics that you can do is awesome to see.
Thank you.
So going through, college, it was really cool to hear, because, OU mentality is, it's definitely has you guys want
Different
to
for
win,
people. Yeah.
and so it's cool to hear, you enjoying that and being able like, what, that was a good, you know, you still being able to enjoy you guys competing even though you got second. I think
Hmm.
that's a big step in being able to, just enjoy competition in itself.
Yeah.
Um, but going through, your college career, how did that help you compete on, that higher stage with winter cups and national championships, eventually going
Yeah.
to the Olympic trials? How did that help you?
I definitely, it was nice. I remember going to those meets and having less pressure on myself than I did at even just our little like one-on-one dual meets
Mhm.
uh, in college. And it was just because if I screwed up, the only person that was affected by it was me,
Mhm.
and so that honestly took so much pressure off because it's more just like not hitting because I have to and I need to. It's just I'm gonna go have fun with this and go
Mhm.
enjoy the experience and go compete. And it took me a little while to learn that. I think at like the individual stage, like when you get to like winter cups and national championships and everything. But once I started just kind of approaching meets just for what they are and like enjoying the sport for what it is and kind of doing it for that little kid in you and everything and
Mhm.
pursuing all those big dreams, just having fun and enjoying the moment rather than building it up to be this huge deal and getting bummed out if things don't go well. I just try to enjoy the experience and have fun
Mhm.
towards like that last year, especially in my career. I
Mhm.
was just trying to soak all of those meets up and yeah, just enjoy them for what they were and enjoy being around that group of guys. And it's cool being around like the like elite of the elite, like when
Mhm.
you go to like US championships, it's the top 40 individual gymnasts like in the country,
Mhm.
and so it's really cool being in that environment and then you watch everybody train and podium training and it kind of makes you try to step up a little bit and
Mhm.
raise your bar and
Mhm.
try to be a little better than you were in practice. So
Yeah, that's really cool. And going into Olympic trials, how's that feeling? You get the call or whatever, find out that you qualified for Olympic trials. How was
mhm.
that feeling and what did that feel like?
It was cool. It was really cool. That was actually my first time ever like getting named to the senior national team.
Mhm.
I had been that guy for the past like I don't know 3 years before that. I was always like 1 or 2 spots out of making the team. Like I just
Mhm.
missed it. And so to finally make it on the Olympic year of all years, which is like the hardest year, I was like, holy crap, like I made it, like this is cool. And I wasn't being like unrealistic with myself. I kind of, in my opinion, due to like a lot of the injuries, I kind of got like left behind a little bit. I didn't have enough time to like get my difficulty up and all that. So I didn't really see myself making that Olympic team, maybe an alternate if I had like a phenomenal day. But I just remember approaching trials. Like I knew going into it, like, okay, this is probably my last meet of my life. And so, yeah, I don't know if this is a good mindset or not, but I didn't care what the results were. I just tried to have fun. Like for the most part, I was like all smiles and stuff and just enjoying the moment. And it was so cool being at a meet like that. Cause it was honestly a small meet, but in a huge arena. Like there were only 15 of us, it was all the guys on the national team.
Yeah.
But, and only like, 4 guys on each event kind of thing or something like that. But the stadium was just packed, and so that was really, really cool. And it felt like you were just putting on a show more than like you were competing. At least for me, that's what it felt like. And yeah, it was fun. That's like a memory I will keep with me forever.
Yeah.
It was really fun. I remember finishing high bar was my last event. And I just remember like putting my arms up like this and just doing like a little twirl to the crowd and just like soaking it all in. Like it was really cool. You felt like a huge celebrity for like 10 seconds.
That's great. I think, yeah, that's awesome. Just because, especially with men's gymnastics, you don't get that feeling often. It's not, it's not the biggest sport. It's not, it's not basketball or football or anything. So like having that moment is super special, I think.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I like your mindset, honestly. I don't think that's a bad mindset at all, to just have fun with it and being able to enjoy that last meet and not care about the results. I was always one of the people that's didn't want to look at the scores at all until the end of the meet. It just helped me be like, okay, I have my I'm able to compete, and I know if it was good or bad. And if it's good, then I don't want to be looking at a score and then I get a bad score and then worry about it,
Yeah.
So like I just want to keep that going and have that not worry about the results. Definitely worked out. I definitely enjoyed doing that. So
Good.
I agree.
Yeah.
You got me on your side, so that's one thing.
Good deal.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing either, but but yeah, going through, after Olympic trials, you knew you were done. So, what's going on now? You mentioned you're in,
Stillwater.
yeah, you're in Stillwater. So, what are you doing now with, what's your major now for grad school?
Yeah, so I'm doing a master's program right now in mental health counseling. It's like a 2-year program. And then I'm hoping to go get a PhD in either sports psychology or clinical psychology after that. But I really want to work with athletes down the road. I think I'm honestly, that looking back on it, I'm like so thankful all the injuries and stuff happened, because it kind of led me down the path I'm on now and like the career I want to pursue. Just because I remember just when some of those injuries happen, like you get put in like a dark place. Like I don't know how to explain it. You do. And and there's a bunch of other outside factors and stuff too that can contribute to that. But I just remember like really struggling and everything. And I ended up like getting a little bit of help from like some sports psychologists and stuff, just trying to get my mind back on track and get everything going again. And then I realized, like, once I started feeling like me again and feeling good, I was like, holy crap, like they helped me a lot. And then I was like, that would be so cool if I could do the same thing for the next generation and the generation after that. And so yeah, that's kind of what led me down this path. And I'm all moved into a new place, just finished up my first week of the master's program, and
Nice.
I got a ton of school left, but hoping it'll be worth it down the road. So
Yeah. I mean, just talking to you now, I definitely, it stuck out to me how you focus on that mental mental aspect of the sport, even
Mhm.
gymnastics, and being able to, talk to the other guys, rationally, and being able to bring them up. Um, so that, that sounds like a great fit for you, and it's awesome to hear you like have that passion. And you
Yeah,
kind of
thank you.
touched on, yeah, you kind of touched on it, but how has gymnastics helped you lead to that major?
Yeah, so I mean, it's something I'm like just thankful with, I guess, for gym and like OU is it's just kind of it's changed my mindset and the way I like approach life in general now. Um, you kind of just you learn that like just if you work hard every day and have that discipline, have the grit, and have that like determination and stuff to like reach a goal, it'll happen. You
Hmm.
got to just put the work in. It's like things aren't given, they're earned, and
Yeah.
that's like a huge thing that like one of my biggest takeaways from OU. And so I'm kind of trying to apply that same mindset to like this like master's program, and like I'm trying to be a little better with school and not procrastinate anymore and start getting my stuff done early so it can be like better work. 'Cause I was such a bad
We
procrastinator
all
in college,
are.
so bad.
Yeah.
Uh, I never turn stuff in late, but I have like the motto: if you wait till the last minute, it only takes a minute, kind of thing. So we,
I definitely had that, I definitely had that mindset in school too. It's not a good mindset to have, kids.
now,
It adds a lot of unnecessary stress.
yeah, it like I will say I kept my grades up. Like it never
Yeah,
really like
yeah.
screwed me over, but it was I was so stressed out every time like
It's
turning this. Oh man. So
Yep.
trying to fix that and
Mhm.
just now I'm not doing gym anymore. I still go
Right.
work out and stuff, but it's not nearly to the extent of what I was doing.
Mhm,
And so I have a lot more time, and I can like put that time towards my studies and towards
mhm,
my school.
mhm.
And I'm, like my goal coming into like the master's program is like I want to try to be like the top in my class, and so that's my goal now, just so it can set me up better for those doctor
Mhm.
programs down the road. So
That's awesome. It's a great goal to have. I definitely think you can do it. How has that extra time helped you? And I mean, you've only been there a week, but
yeah,
have you noticed it definitely helps?
yeah, it's there's definitely a lot more boredom, just because it's like it gets into the afternoon and stuff, and I'm like, man, I used to be at gym. Like, what do I do?
Right.
You know, that first like month, man, I was so lazy. I was like,
Mhm.
I earned this. I'm gonna just watch TV like all day. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's what I did.
yeah.
But yeah, I got a dog recently, and so he keeps me occupied. I go take him for walks and
Nice.
training him and all that stuff, and
Mhm,
I'll go work out a little. I really don't have that many assignments yet because we're just in that first week of
mhm.
school. But I am like waking up, around like 8 or 9 every day, and just try to do some school in the morning and study a little bit and go to class in the afternoons and evenings. So, but yeah, it was definitely weird trying to figure out what to do with that time. So,
Yeah, how's that adjustment period been with you not doing school any or not doing gym anymore and just school?
it's
How's that?
nice.
Yeah.
It's very nice. Your
Yeah.
body doesn't hurt all the time.
Mhm.
You're actually like awake for your classes instead of being like tired from a 6 a.m. I'm not
Yeah.
saying I slept, but you're always like in class, like, oh
Mhm.
man, I need a nap.
Mhm.
And so now I'm like awake and like really alert and stuff. But yeah, no, it's been good, man. It's been good. I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
Um, yeah, it was just a very weird adjustment period at first, just trying
Mhm.
to figure out what to do with all my time. But
Mhm.
I was definitely very lazy for the first couple of weeks. I felt that I earned that, and now we're trying to get back on track and
Yeah.
get a workout schedule and all that stuff. So,
Mhm. Have you um has it come to a point where you've missed gymnastics yet?
uh, no, I miss the environment, not
Mhm.
the
Not the
sport.
day to day.
Like I
Yeah.
don't think will ever be a day in my life where I'm like, man, I miss 6 a.m. workouts. Like
You might be surprised.
I think I'll miss some of the afternoon stuff. Like
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed doing that
Mhm.
last year. yeah, obviously it's stressful and you got like a 1-on-6 in the afternoon and stuff, but I will miss that because you're going through it with your boys and with your team.
Right.
But like right now, all I miss right now is just the team and like my guys, you know, like they were like a family to me, and just a bunch of brothers pretty much. And so it was, I'm definitely going to miss all those guys, but my body is not missing the sport. It's been very happy to just take it.
You always need a break. That's yeah.
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 So,
It's I mean, you've been doing this your whole life. The break is
mm,
definitely well deserved. So just looking back throughout your whole gymnastics career, I've yeah, we've kind of talked a little bit about it, like through college and through your experience at JOs and things like that. But all around, what's something that's definitely sticked out and that you want to um keep doing from what you've learned from your gymnastics career that you still want to keep doing or keep, putting out there?
okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like my biggest takeaway I think from the sport was just it helps. Like I learned, I guess, about myself. I was the most like functional and productive when I had like a set routine in place, like for me every day. So like whether that was the morning workouts, class, afternoon workout, but like I had a routine and just
Mhm.
sticking with that. That's typically when I get like the most work done and everything, and I can be like super productive. Um, and so like right now, that's kind of what I was saying. I'm starting to figure out what that routine can be for me now with just
Mhm.
school, and trying to incorporate, like working out, 4 times a week or something like that. Just going in for like an hour and
Mhm.
just kind of doing maintenance stuff
Yeah.
so I can like stay healthy and everything. But yeah, just getting a routine for myself and learning that like having the discipline, like on the hard days, like on those days you don't feel like doing it, go do it anyways. That is a huge thing, and it will get you so much farther than half of the people out there,
Yeah.
like in our society and everything.
Yeah.
Just because a lot of people don't have that, and
Definitely.
so if you do, and you can have that grit and have the have some motivation behind you and have the discipline to stick with what your goals are and pursue them, you're going to make it happen. And
Mhm.
it's just a matter of when. That's the
Mhm.
way I look at it. If I have a goal, I'm going to make it happen. It's just a matter of when. Just keep
Mhm.
doing it. And I think that's a mindset everybody should have. I'm a real big believer in like the whole anything is possible thing if you just set your mind to it. And Jim definitely taught me that.
Mhm.
And so yeah, that's a life lesson I took with me from the sport, and will continue to take with me throughout my life.
Nice. That's a great way to end the interview. I think that's a
Cool.
great lesson to have, and appreciate you coming on, Matt.
Yeah.
This was an awesome time. It was a great conversation, and good luck with everything, man. Good luck with
Thank you,
the
sir.
school, and hopefully you can be talking to future gymnasts, future Olympians with their get that mental
Yeah,
psychology going.
that'd be awesome. That's the dream.
Yeah.
That's the
Hey,
that'd be cool.
got that goal now, and let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. And man, with
All right.
everything we got going on too. So
Yep. Awesome.
Come on, y'all.